If you haven't checked out the Jamaicans.com interview by Xavier Murphy, what it's like being Jamaican on Saipan, I'll leave a link in the description so you can check that out. This video is in response to some of the feedback and questions that I received from that interview. So this is a compilation of everything that I've been doing here on Saipan since I arrived, all the books I've written, all the websites I've created, all the projects I've been involved in, as well as the campaigns and fundraising, that sort of thing. But before we get started, let me take care of a few business items. In the video with Xavier, I mispronounced the word Tautamona, which is Chamorro for ancient spirits, the people before us. You can check out guampedia.com for more information on that. Secondly, as I was corrected, Chamorro and Carolinian are in fact taught in the school system here on Saipan up until middle school. And then, for those who also asked, I am a Jamaican citizen. Here's my Jamaican Caribbean community passport. This is the only passport I have. I'll also mention some of the schools I've been to. I mentioned Pembroke Hall Primary School in Jamaica, then there's St. Pascal Baylon Elementary School in New York, Springfield Gardens High School, and Columbia University. So with that said, let's get started. One of the first things I started doing was writing books here on Saipan. First one is Jamaican on Saipan, about my escape from America and my first year or so of life here on Saipan. Next was Chicken Feathers and Garlic Skin, the only account of what it was like to be a garment factory worker, Chinese garment factory worker here on Saipan. Book got a lot of recognition and was even used in a textbook in France. Next is Saipan Living, for those who are interested in relocating to Saipan. They want to know what the cost of living is, what the daily life is, what expenses, rent, that sort of thing. Business on Saipan, a little out of date now, but it has information on setting up a business here on Saipan. Saipan Now, a collection of full-color photographs of every aspect of life and tourism and culture and history here on Saipan, very popular also. There's Something About Saipan, a visitor's guide to fantastic facts, tantalizing trivia, startling statistics, dramatic diaries, and hair-raising history from America's most colorful island territory. There's a lot of unique things about the CNMI that's included. Now, those of us here on Saipan have a different story to tell about the Amelia Earhart disappearance. So once I give tours to my clients, taking them to certain locations that are significant for the Amelia Earhart story.
Yeah, but essentially they were spying.
They were spies.
for Japan, right? And that was revealed in that book.
Also had a chance to write a book with Lloyd Glick, a 95-year-old veteran of the Battle of Saipan. Now, I've also been creating a lot of websites. For many years, there wasn't a lot of information on the internet on Saipan, so I created We Love Saipan, which had testimonials from various residents as well as tourists about what they liked about living here on Saipan. And those are still up. You can check that out and enjoy some of the people who've come and gone. Saipan Living, the website for the book of the same name. So this has a little bit more information to help you navigate the process of relocating to the island of Saipan or Tinian or Rota. Saipan Writers, Saipan Blue, CNMIstrong.com, Discover Saipan, that's my tour website. Discover Pagan, my adventure going up to that northern island. Pacific Island Co-op for vegetarians and vegans and those interested in healthy living. MarianaMonument.com. Jamaican on Saipan, the website for the book of the same name. Saipanfactorygirl.com. There's also alumwayband.com, Bugle Boy Glick, Reza Ramos Books, and This Baby Can Speak, featuring books by Dr. John Joyner. I've also created tour apps, mobile apps, for people who might not be able to make it all the way to Saipan, but they can virtually experience Saipan, Tinian, and soon Rota on their mobile phone. So this documents and chronicles the tours that I typically give for both those islands, Saipan and Tinian. They're available on the Google Play Store. You can search for Discover Saipan Waysides or Discover Tinian Waysides. I've also created some t-shirts, designs that you can get on t-shirts and mugs and clocks and various other items through Redbubble. Over the years, I've done a lot of workshops here on Saipan. Starting way back when I first came to the island, this was one at PIC, Pacific Island Club. This section is a bit long, but I wanted to document as many of the workshops that I could that were recorded. Not all of them were recorded, but these I was able to find photos and some videos going way back to 2006. This was at Northern Marianas College. This was focused on helping people discover what their passions were and then figuring out ways to create a business around it. I've done workshops on Guam. That was the Guam Navy Hospital. Here on Saipan, as well as Tinian.
I don't have a speech prepared. What I'd like to do is have a simple conversation where you can participate and ask some of the questions that are on your mind so that we can share some ideas that can help you be more productive, prioritize your time.
This was one for the Chamber of Commerce. Also had a chance to work with some other entrepreneurs and great presenters. This was a workshop I did, or presentation I did with Tony Pellegrino, serial entrepreneur here on Saipan. Northern Marianas College again for the students. Northern Marianas Trades Institute, now known as the Technical Institute.
First of all, Joe could have said, no offense, Joe could have said no. But I know that eventually I'll run into somebody who's willing to take a chance, be adventurous, be brave, and that's
I also started doing a series of writers' workshops. I discovered that there's a lot of untold stories here on Saipan, and a lot of individuals who are aspiring writers. So these workshops were designed to simplify the process of creating and publishing and promoting one's work. So I was able to help a few people publish their books here on Saipan. A couple people of note, Reza Ramos published 3 books after attending the workshops. Dr. John Joyner as well. And even Marianas Variety editor Zaldi Dandan had some books sitting in his drawer or in his files for years, and then was moved to action by one of the workshops he attended at the library. Also had some workshops at the Northern Marianas International School. Thanks to John Joyner for helping to organize those, and thanks to the school for allowing me to use their facilities.
Yep, ready? Smile. Keep right.
To know that through
One,
him,
two. 1, 2,
We had people
3.
from all walks of life, lawyers and teachers and educators and students attend the workshops. Also been to Tinian to do a workshop there.
Okay, now. 1, 2.
Thank you.
1, 2, 3.
Cool. Been to Guam as well. Thanks to Dave Lujan for use of the facilities at the DNA building.
All right, so you just attended the workshop. What are your thoughts so far? Or,
It's the best $10 ever received in a long time.
all right.
Awesome workshop.
And we were featured in the Pacific Daily News as well. Back to Saipan, more writers' workshops, and I always donate at least 20% of the proceeds to the library, no matter how small it might be.
First, you'll put them, just make a complete brainstorm of everything that comes to mind, and then
Last workshop I did was in 2020,
give you a
right
whole bunch of
before the
history, a whole bunch of
lockdown on the pandemic.
data on how the books are selling, when they're selling, even geography to show you, let you know when, where around the world they're selling as well. Okay, and then each month about the 21st, you'll get a summary of what your upcoming deposits are going to be. So I just want to show
Thanks
you
to
that,
everyone who attended.
so you can see that it does work, it is real. Your only job is to finish the book and upload it.
Over the years, I've also done some school appearances. A lot of those were not photographed or filmed so as not to be too intrusive on the kids and their privacy. Thanks to Linda Birmingham for, I think, what was my first school visit to Hopwood. As a vegan and somewhat of a health fanatic, I was pleased to find some people here on Saipan of like mind, so I started a food co-op and buying group. We share information,
Once it's against
share
the ground, you have to constantly move it. Otherwise, it
group
will burn
buying,
very, very
food demos
So you have to keep your eye
to help
on
live a healthier life here on Saipan. Thanks to Lisa Haxkilo for
Bring on this natural
organizing
flavor.
some of the cooking demos that I've done at NMC.
What is this? Please?
That's Malungai.
I've also done some informal demos at people's homes and apartments.
For a little bit longer.
Oh.
So you taste the beans a little bit.
你太小了啊，妈妈吃了。
So almost everything is raw. This is all raw, nothing cooked.
Nice.
And the group still exists. We haven't met in a while, but we're still sharing information with new folks who come on island, who are interested in eating a little healthier, adopting a more natural lifestyle.
maybe ever.
That's right.
And I'll do that.
1, 2.
For a few years, every week I wrote a news column for the Saipan Tribune, thanks to J.V. Valahera. I interviewed Saipanpreneurs, business owners, craftspeople, farmers, restaurant owners, and writers and video producers every week for the Tribune. I've also appeared on several documentaries talking about
Administered
Saipan.
by the U.S. as a territory or colony since the end of World War II.
You are in the Commonwealth of the Northern Mariana Islands. There are 15 islands to this chain.
The weather. Goodrich knows all too well.
We're living here in paradise. You expect certain storms every now and then. So it's not something that people worry about, every day of their lives. It's something that you keep an eye on and you follow the weather reports.
And a super typhoon slams into Saipan, battering buildings with 180 miles per hour winds.
I don't think I ever experienced that terror in my life.
Also was interviewed by Douglas Mack for the Not Quite States of America, and most recently for the Jamaicans.com website.
And today in Jamaicans to the World, I talked to Walt, a Jamaican living in Saipan.
Called kelagrin. So it's a chicken kelagrin, and it's a way they spice it. And again, I'm sorry, don't ask me how, but it's very popular. A lot of the restaurants, when they do have Chamorro restaurants here, people will go and ask for the fish kelagrin or the chicken kelagrin. So
I also had a unique chance to go to Pagan. I organized a trip for some researchers, some scientists who are studying seismic activity on the island. We're now passing Anata. So I got to tag along.
it would have been dark already, yeah.
Very interesting, and despite what you may have heard at the time, Pagan was not uninhabited. At the time that I went there were actually 7 people living on the island, and I got a chance to interview them and see what their life is like. And it's actually one of the more popular videos on my YouTube channel. If you search YouTube for Pioneers on Pagan, you'll see some more info on that. But here are a few clips from my time there. It's me walking on the black sands of Pagan. Black sand gets very, very hot when in the middle of the day. There's some dolphins. Look to the left of the screen. Yep, you'll see some dolphins frolicking in the waters off the coast of Pagan. And here are the residents at the time.
My name is Darren Tumara. I'm from Saipan.
My name is Daniel Walt. I'm originally from Saipan. My name is Herman Castro Juliet. I'm from Saipan. My name is Santiago Castro. I'm from Pagan.
These brave pioneering individuals decided to leave the hustle and bustle of Saipan behind and live more naturally on the island of Pagan. And I had a chance to stay there for a few days and interview them and get to see what their life was like. Here's something you can try at home if you have your own coconut tree. Takes a bit of practice. I've also had a chance to give tours to people from all over the world who are interested in the beauty and the culture and the history of Saipan. Get a lot of war buffs who are interested in the Battle of Saipan, as well as families and couples who are interested in experiencing something unique. As mentioned before, I had a chance to organize a unique tour for Lloyd Glick, Battle of Saipan veteran who was on the USS North Carolina. I've also had a chance to give tours to the children of Battle of Saipan and Battle of Tinian veterans.
1, 2.
Yeah, I was going to say.
Wait.
And thanks to Brooke Nevitt for her assistance.
Right. 1, 2.
Cruise ships are another exciting type of tour that I do every year or so, sometimes every 2 years. A cruise ship arrives on Saipan and I get special guests. That year we had Lino Olapai, a Carolinian elder who agreed to participate and share culture with our guests. Also John Castro, who was able to share some Chamorro cultural history as well.
This is Hachiman Shrine. The bell. Okay. You would ring the bell, clap 2 times, bow, clap 1 time, and you would throw money into a money box.
There have been filmmakers and documentarians who've come as well. This was a Korean filmmaker who was doing a program on the garment industry and life on Saipan as a garment factory worker. Professors visiting to learn more about the Pacific Island government and Pacific Island culture. I mentioned before my trip to Pagan. As I mentioned, it was for research. There were seismologists doing research on the volcanic activity on the island. This was Doug Mack interviewing Lino as well as Chun Yu for his book. Music video producers wanting to film on the unique landscape and beautiful beaches of Saipan. This was a Korean film crew. I helped them scout the location, various locations on the island for them to film their video. This was the producers of the La Mancha Media documentary. Another author, Lindsay Nash, who's interviewing locals, contract workers, elders, about Saipan, about CNMI culture.
The message is right after what you used to drink. Saipan. I bet you.
Video producing crew, and thanks to China Travel Channel.
阳光、沙滩、美景，一个海上之旅的完美配置。这一次第一时尚，尽管所有遗迹现在。
Back to the weekend edition of KSPN2 News. Writers write. Actually, anyone with a story can write, especially in this day of the internet. Meet Walt Goodrich.
With print on demand available online, it's easier than ever to get published. With 25 books already to his credit, author Walt Goodrich has taken his expertise to Tinian next week.
Okay, on Friday, July 13th, this coming Friday, from 1 p.m. to 4 p.m., we're going to be doing a free writers' workshop at the Tinian Public Library on the island of Tinian. And I'll be going through step by step the creative process, the publishing process, the marketing process to help people turn their ideas into a profitable book.
Goodridge has valuable tips for anyone who wants to become a published writer.
One of the first things that I tell people to do, if they have an idea for a book, they should definitely pursue that idea. But the first thing they should write down in their document or their notepad is, why am I writing this book? That will help keep you focused. I'm writing this book because I have unique experience in spearfishing, and I want to share it with the world because I've learned some things about spearfishing that no one else knows. So once you start the book, write down, I am writing this book because, and what you want people to get from it, why you're writing it, what makes your perspective unique. So that's step one that I would tell people to do.
Depends, different place, different price. My is 3,500.
The world's Mary Kay Magstad has the story.
Former garment factory worker Wang Chunyu remembers what it was like when she first came to Saipan from China a decade ago, got her first factory job, and took her place in the factory dormitory.
They said he wants the 99 sign in there.
What was it like growing up in Jamaica? As you said, a black community. How was that different from what you perceived when you moved to the United States?
It was a unique moment as KSPN spoke with the ACCP committee in Susupi village, the same area of a campsite during World War II.
When the Japanese controlled these islands, the Chamorros and the Carolinians, the indigenous folks, were essentially treated as second-class or third-class citizens. So it's not too long ago that those roles actually applied here, that you had one group that was being deprived of its civil rights by, the colonial structure. So after Typhoon U2 ravaged the island,
and a super typhoon slams into Saipan,
to help a few
battering
people
buildings with.
By starting up a GoFundMe campaign, I was able to at least help a few folks put a few dollars in their pockets to help with their recovery, a small amount.
I don't know. Everything's fine. These are new roof for it.
There's Manny,
Showing us where he lives.
Business owner, and Randy Vicente. So were you here during the
I was in our building. I went
now,
okay. Because I can feel it's getting stronger.
Yeah.
Crayola crayons. For the first time in more than 100 years, Crayola is retiring a color from its box of crayons, and they're holding an online competition to name a new color of blue that they're adding to the box. And there's a campaign on change.org to make that new color Saipan Blue. Local Walt J. Goodridge is the man behind the campaign. To learn more about Saipan Blue and how you can get it in your next crayon box, just go to change.org.
One of the early movements that we started that was part of the We Love Saipan movement was a blogger movement. At the time, a lot of people were just getting into blogging, and Saipan blogger Angelo Villagomez helped push that movement forward and got more people involved in sharing their thoughts, finding their blog voice, and establishing a unique community of writers and bloggers here on the island. We met several times, usually at Java Joe's, to share ideas and encourage people and explain some of the technical aspects of blogging on Blogger or WordPress. We had everyone from teachers to students to doctors and lawyers.
Okay, excitement love because I like Angela's blog, so I want to make mine.
And one of the more unique
deeper, go ahead.
movements and campaigns started through Sinta Kaipat and some early believers in the concept was the Beautify CNMI, and I participated in that.
At the heart of this
Friends of the Mariana Monument.
Will be much of the
I volunteered every now and then as much as I could
the deepest point on Earth,
in the behind the scenes.
surrounding arc of undersea volcanic and thermal vents. This unique geological region is more than 5 times longer than the Grand Canyon. It is deeper than Mount Everest is tall. It supports life in some of the harshest conditions imaginable. A fascinating array of species survive amid hydrogen-emitting volcanoes. Hydrothermal vents. The only animal profile and scientists, and I want to thank the scientists who have joined us today, believe extreme conditions like these could have been the first incubators of life on Earth. As further research is conducted in these depths, we'll learn more about life at the bottom of the sea and about the history of our planet. The other major features of the new monument are the majestic coral reefs off the coast of the upper 3 islands in the Commonwealth of the Northern Mariana Islands. These islands, some 5,600 miles from California, are home to a striking diversity of marine life, from large predators like sharks and rays to more than 300 species of stony corals. By studying these pristine waters, scientists can advance our understanding of tropical marine ecosystems, not only there but around the world.
And realism impelled me to admit that we still have a long, long way to go. But I think the important thing is that we are making progress.
MLK Day was re-established here in the CNMI in 2006. Our first guest speaker was Dean Cynthia Nance. This was also the first year for the essay contest.
The burning of our churches will not deter us. The bombing of our homes will not dissuade us. We are on the move now. The beating and killing of white clergymen will not fight.
That among me are life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness, where my father died, land of the pilgrim's pride.
Dorothea, Catherine, judging the entrance for the essay contest. We had a reenactment of a protest march through Garapan. Chief Cop at the time, Rebecca Warfield. It was a very unique event, being the first commemoration after the enactment of the legislation just the year before.
Jamaican. Say what you want to Joe.
Okay, I want to say that Walt brought me out here on the cliff, and I have a broken toe now. It's terrible.
Then I took the Nance to see
you're kidding.
a sight that she would never see otherwise. No, it's not that steep.
Yeah, it is. It is.
It's not steeper than the one we did before.
And over the years, we've had other guests as well. We've had Marsha Rose Joyner, Judge Helen Shores Lee.
Opinion, there is a mean-spirited atmosphere.
I want you to know right now
even had
that we don't care what the laws say. You always know that you are somebody.
We even had John Lewis by video.
And realism impelled me to admit that we still have a long, long way to go. But I think the important thing is that we are making progress.
Thanks for watching all the way till the end. That is a video resume of all my accomplishments here on Saipan, and if you'd like to learn more, you can check out the YouTube channel, the Discover Saipan YouTube channel, or if you'd like to follow my adventures in China, Singapore, Laos, Thailand, Vietnam, you can check out the JamaicanInChina.com blog and the Jamaican in China YouTube channel. Thanks. Sit through the closing credits of a movie like I do whenever I go and see a movie. So as a reward, let's see, if you go to bestofsaipan.com and sign up to the mailing list, I will send you a free PDF copy of the full Saipan Now photo adventure, which includes full color photographs of life here on Saipan, history, culture, school, everything. Or if you prefer, I'll send you a copy of Jamaican on Saipan, PDF copy, ebook copy, that chronicles my escape from America and my first year or so of life here on Saipan. So either one of those, go to bestofsaipan.com, click to join the mailing list, and in the section where it asks how did you find out about this, just put that you want your free copy of Jamaican on Saipan or your free copy of Saipan Now, and I'll get that out to you. So thanks again for sticking it out till the end, and I'll talk to you next time.